page. Okay, good. Oh, I think it's better now. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You can see now. Great. Good morning. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Okay, good afternoon. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are watching me from, and also your geographical location, and also when you are watching this particular video. Now, today is week 2, and I'm very sure by now you have all finished your first CTF. We will now be moving on to the next um, phase of our work, and we will be working on um, we'll be using some commands today, and we will be working so much on what's the name um, IP addresses and also ports. And I'm very sure by now you have all gone through what IP addresses are, what ports are, and also the services they run on. So I think with that we are good to go. So let's go through these particular slides one after the other. Please, can you see the slide? Um, okay. Okay, great. I think you can see the slide. That's great. Okay. All right, that's great. Now, we'll be working on networking for attackers who understand what IP addresses are, what we call port enumeration, and attack surface mapping. I'll explain everything to you, but I'm sure by now you would have gone through everything, and you know some of the fundamentals, what an IP address is, what also port numbers are, and what we also call services. So that's what we'll be doing today. Now, all in all, we'll be working on foundations on recognizance. When we say recognizance, I think last week we did recognizance, and when we say recognizance, we mean um, some people call it also recce. When we say recce, it means that when attacker gets into a system, he really wants to have an idea about what the system is, what is going on, what services are running, what IP addresses are running, what he can potentially do, what ports are open. When I say ports, I mean basically doors. So what doors are open, what doors are closed, and how can I get into the system and all those things. That's what we'll be doing today. um when it comes to recognizance, when we say recognizance, again, we mean getting enough info about the target or about the system we are working on. So that is what we call recognizance. Now, there are so many types of recognizance which we will not be diving into. I mean, most of you over here are new. I know I know very well we have experts in this, but most of you over here are new. So let us just go by um the basics. Let's pick it up from the basics. So please, if there's a problem, you can also type in the comment section. So you let me know. Okay. And please, if at a point you can't see my slide also, please let me know. I think I'm out. Good. All right. A second. I think I'm losing my slide now. Don't worry. I'm trying to fix it really quick. Escape. Please, can you see my slides at your point? Can you see my slides, please? No. Okay. A second. Let me remove it and then stage it once again. Don't worry. I think it should be better now, right? I think you should be able to see my slide now, right? Okay, thank you very much. You can see it now. Great. All right. So, okay, thank you. Great. Okay. All right. So, back to what I was saying. We have so many ways of identifying IP addresses, which we'll be working on now. So when you are in the network, the first thing you have to do is identify the target addresses. That is finding IP addresses on the network. And today we'll be working on that, how to even identify your own network, and that's what we'll be doing today. And we'll also look at service discovery. When we say service recovery, we mean services running on a port. We'll also be working on that also. And also vulnerability assessment. We'll also be working on that really quick. Now, there are two types of recognizance. We have passive and active recognizance. We will not be doing all these things are not really important to you. So I just want to make everything breathe. With the passive recognizance, we'll not be doing it, but we'll be doing active recognizance. And with active recognizance, we'll be working on finding port addresses. And after finding the port address, what services are running on it. That is what we'll be doing today. Now, we'll be working on ports, protocols, and attack surface. We'll look at ports that are open on my device, and ports that are closed, and ports that are it has established core connections. We'll also be looking at that also. I'm very sure by now you should understand what we call IP addresses. When we say IP addresses, in short, it means that when you're on the network, the other devices on the network that are connected to you, that is what we call an IP address. They are located by IP addresses. So if we have three computers on a network, each and every computer will have one particular IP address associated with it. So we will have all in all three IP addresses. That is what we call IP addresses. And ports are basically the doors. So let's say we have three computers on the network. Every computer will have what we call a port, different ports running on them. So it's like getting into a house. When you get into a house, it is very large, but every room is having a door to the room. The door to the room is what we call the ports. I'm very sure by now you would have gone through it, and I'm very sure by now you should understand virtually everything about it. All in all, we have 6,553, 660, let me get it right, 65,535 ports available. And some of them are very known. I'm very sure we'll go through them really quick also. And they are known to attackers because that is most often what we use. So there are some that we don't play with at all, and um, these are some. One particular one is port 80 and port 443. They are port 80 is HTTP, and port 443 is HTTPS. And when we say HTTP and HTTPS, what we mean is that HTTP is that is what makes us view the websites on what's the name, on a computer or on a server. So let's say the website you browse each and every day, they are stored somewhere. There is an IP address allocated to that, and there is a particular port, and the port that we use to view all websites is either port 80 or port 443. They are basically default ports. So that is it. And attackers, as attackers, we look for some of the vulnerabilities and we try to exploit them. So that is that. I don't want to go deep into this because we'll be having a very long demo. So let us keep this particular one short, very short. There's also another port called port 22, and port 22 is what we call secure shell. Secure shell is basically for connecting two particular computers. So I have my computer over here, I have another computer somewhere else. I can open port 22 on that particular IP address and then connect to that particular computer. And I'll be using it just as I'll be using it when I'm just behind it. So that is what we call secure shell. But to give you what we call a terminal or a command prompt, I mean, we'll be going through the command prompts just now, so you have a feel of how it works. So that is port 22. We'll go through it and you understand how it looks like. We also have port 3389, that is RDP. And that one is basically for, also we call it remote connections. It's just like the SSH, but for SSH it will give you a terminal. So you are connected to the computer, but you only have what we call a terminal session. And when I say terminal, I mean command prompt in Windows. So that is how it is. So don't worry, we'll get into it and you will understand it more. But for the remote desktop, that one will give you a very real graphical interface. So you see it just as you are using it. Like, it will not be like, what's the name, secure shell. With a secure shell, what you have is command prompts that you just be typing and that's all. But for RDP, what happens is you see the whole desktop, and you can click here and click there and do everything just as a regular user will do. So these are some of the known ports, right? When it comes to reconnaissance, we have host discovery. I think that one will not be doing, but post scanning will also not be doing, but they are part of the reconnaissance phase. And service enumeration will also not be doing that. I think subsequent weeks will be doing all those things, and vulnerability mapping will not be doing that. But I just want you to have a brief understanding of how it works. Now, these are some of the ports that attackers will use most often. Port 22, we do what we call brute forcing. I would not like to go into in depth of some of these ones. We have port 80 and the attack. They are very massive. I don't want to go into some of these things, but I just want you to have an idea about if you are an attacker, some of the things you may be meeting. You will be meeting port 22. And when you meet port 22, the best thing to do is to brute force. That is out of our scope. We'll be doing it some other time. Port 80 and 443 is HTTP and HTTPS. That one, we use it to view websites. So I think I'll be working on the port 80 today so that you have a very clear view of how it works. Now let us move straight to yes, good. This particular part is very important. Everything we are doing here is for educational purposes and educational purposes only. So please don't go and try this on any computer that you don't have access on. Try it on the CTF and also what I'm about to do now, and that's all. Don't go and be tampering with other people's computer trying to hack them back and forth. That is not why we are here. So um let me I'm done with the theory part, so let me just pick some few questions and answer them really quick, and then we go to the demo straightforward. I think somebody is asking a question. Okay, great. I think somebody is asking a very good question. He says that please, is the port on the side on the slide on the laptops. Um when we are talking about ports, we mean We are not talking about the ports on the laptop. That is the USB ports, and no, 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 that's not what we are talking about. Ports that we are talking about is it's just like doors. It's just they are just like doors. They are just like doors. Okay, I think I'm back now. Sorry, I had a problem with my internet, but I think it's back now. Please, if you can hear me, okay, great. I think is everything okay now? Can we proceed? Can we proceed? Can we proceed, please? Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Yes, please. Thank you very much. All right, thanks for your patience. All right, so let us get back to what we were discussing. Okay, great. Let's get back to what we were discussing now. Let's go through some of the things we'll be using. We will be using command prompt. So let me switch over to my command prompt. At this point, let me quickly share my whole screen for just for some time. Great. Um, share. Good. Most often I used to say terminal. It's the same as what we call command prompt in Windows. Most often I use Linux, so um, I say terminal, but it's the same as command prompt. So let me switch over to my command prompt. And switching over to command prompt, this is what we do. We press what we call the Windows key. So I press my Windows key, I see this, and I type CMD. When you type CMD, you see command prompt. Then you just launch it. When you launch it, you see something like this. And that is what we call command prompt. Now, let me extend it and also increase screen, my screen size so you can have a look at it very well. Now, I press Control and plus. Control and plus will increase the text so that you can all see it clearly. If at a point you can't see it clearly, please let me know in the comment section. All right, so we'll be using two tools. The first tool we'll be using is ipconfig. ipconfig. So this is how the terminal looks like. And when you open the terminal, you'll be given what's the name? A place to type. When you are given a place to type, all the commands you want to run, you can just run it and you are good to go. So we'll be using the ipconfig command. Okay, and when we use the ipconfig command, after typing ipconfig, we see a lot of things over here. Let me reduce it a bit so that you have a very great look at it. We can see over here Windows ipconfig, Ethernet adapter, and then you can see Ethernet adapter 5 and all those things. These are what we call how you can access, how your computer gets access to the internet. When we also have wireless LAN and all those things, these things are not, they are above you. So let us just come back down. If you want to know the IP address of your machine, that is on the network, which IP address identifies your particular device, it is over here. Because I'm connected to a Wi-Fi system, when you go to wireless LAN IP, wireless LAN adapter Wi-Fi, you can see some things over here. IPv6 is not important to you, but IPv4. So this is my main IP address. This is my main IP address. All right. So if you want to get your IP address, this is it. The IP address that locates you on the network. When you go to IPv4, you can see it clearly. All right. So that is how we use the ipconfig command. Now, there are what we call flags, but when we get to net start, we'll go through most of the commands so you have a very fair idea about it. Prompt, you press your Windows key, you just type CMD, you hit enter, and it gives you your command prompt. Now, this is where you can connect to a device using SSH. SSH. I think we spoke about SSH. So you can connect to a device using SSH from this particular point, and you have an interface and all those things. But that is far above you. So let us just come back. I press Control and I hit the plus or the equals to sign, and it extends it. And now I can type whatever I want to type. So that is it. Now I can now type my IP config once again. Config. I hit enter, and I now see my IP address because I'm using Wi-Fi. When I go to wireless LAN, local address network, Ethernet, that is a cable connected to your device to get internet access. When you come here, you see it over here clearly. IPv4 and to give you your address, but that is out of our scope. So let us come back to what we are doing. Great. Ah, oh, we can't see. Okay, so let me present once again. Command prompt. Okay, great. Allow. Please, can you see it now? Can you see it now? Can you see it now, please? Please, can you see my command prompt? Share screen. No, please. All right, let me go through once again. Okay, so okay. Okay, no problem. Hold on, let me just go through it once again. Share screen. A second, let me get it right once again. Present. A second, let me project the whole thing so we see once again. Okay. Command prompt. Create. Allow. Add to stage code. Please, I think you should be able to see it now, right? I think you should be able to see my command prompt now. Please, can you see my command prompt now? Great. All right. So, okay, great. So anytime you want to open command prompt, all you have to do is just to press the Windows key. After pressing the Windows key, you type command or you type, please. Okay. I'll zoom out. Don't worry. Just press the Windows button. After pressing the Windows button, you just type CMD and you can see it. When you open it, you now do what we call the zoom. So let me quickly zoom for you to see. When you want to zoom, you press Control plus and it will zoom for you. I think you can see it now, right? Can you see it now? I think you should be able to see it now. Can you see it, please? Can I get a response from you? Okay, great. I think you can see it now. All right, good. So let me type ifconfig and press enter. Oh, it says that ifconfig cannot recognize as an internal or external command. No problem. The problem is I am always on Linux, so I use ifconfig. But for Windows, you do ipconfig. So ipconfig and you hit enter and you can see everything clearly now. Now, because I am using Wi-Fi, when you come to this particular portion where it says wireless LAN adapter, that is my wireless adapter inside my machine, I can see my IP address, and my IP address is 172.20.10.9. That is my personal IP address, and that is what we'll be using most often. Okay, all right. So it's that's Linux. Okay, so if you are using Linux, you use ifconfig, and if you are using Windows, you just use a ipconfig, and most of you will be using ipconfig, so you don't worry at all. Just be fine. Good. So that is for the ipconfig. So let me just go through it once again. If you want to clear your screen, you just type CLS. Once you hit enter to clear the screen for you. If you want to do the ipconfig again, you just type your ipconfig config and you hit enter, and it will give you um your IP address. If you are using Ethernet, then when you come to Ethernet adapter, you can see your IP address over here. But I'm not using Ethernet. Thank you very much. All right, so that is that for ipconfig. We'll also be using what we call um, net start, the net start command. Let me clear my screen once again. CLS. I press enter. We'll be using this particular command called net start. When I say the net start command means that you are using a statistics, you are doing a statistics on your network, and that is what we'll be doing today. So it will give you a statistics of what IP addresses you are connecting to, and what IP addresses are connected to you, and what ports are also connected to you. So I type net start and I hit enter. What can I see? Oh, I can see active connections. I can see TCP, the protocols, they are not important to you. I can also see what we call local addresses. The local addresses are your personal addresses. And I can also see the foreign addresses. Foreign addresses are addresses away from your device. And we can also see statistics, what's the name? The states. Now, there's something we call flags. So let me terminate this. Quickly, let me, in fact, I can even open a new terminal. Let me go through it once again so you have a look at it. All right. I don't know. I keep switching and it's not working. Don't worry. I'll make sure I fix it. So let me quickly do this again. CMD. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll make sure you understand everything. So don't worry at all. No, no. Good. Allow. Add to stage. Checking comments. Okay, don't worry. I'll be checking the comments. Don't worry. Okay, that's great. Okay, great. Somebody is saying he's using Mac. MacBook. So um what command will work for you? I think for the Mac users, you can use ipconfig. I think ipconfig should still work. So don't worry. I think it should still work. Ipconfig should still work. Don't worry. Let me keep going. It's back. Okay, no problem. Okay. I think this should be clearer now. So let me do my net start again. Net start. This is how we spell the net start. Net and then STAT. That is how we spell the net start. It will give you an overview of your network, what is going on and what is running, what ports are open and everything. Please, I'll get back to all your questions and answers, so don't worry. Now, when we come back to this particular point, let me close. Um, let me open a new one over here. Let's check if you can still see. I think you should be able to see it still. All right, so let me zoom it again. Now, there is something we call flags. When I ran the net start, it kept running and running and running, and you didn't see most of the things that we want to do today. So let us do net start. I think I have to zoom it a little. Start, and these are what we call flags. When you say flags, flags are optional arguments. When I say optional argument, it means that when you enter a room, you can see a lot of things, but the exact thing I want to see is an example, a mirror. So when I enter the room, I only want to see these particular things, and that's all. So when I do hyphen A, it means I'm using what we call the flag A. And the flag A, what happens is it shows me virtually everything happening on my device. All right. So let me do net start hyphen A. And also let me also do net start. There are a lot of flags, but we'll be taking only 3 flags today. One of the flags is A, which tells me that I want to see all active connections, all active ports. That is what exactly I want to see. And the hyphen N. So when I do hyphen N also, all I want to display is the port numbers. So that one, the hyphen N will give me the port numbers, but the hyphen A will tell me what I'm connected to, all the activities that are connected. Let us leave the A and the N for now. When we are done, we'll add one particular one. So don't worry, I'll take my time and take you through everything. Okay, so hyphen N and I hit enter. Wow, I can see a lot of things from here. And as a hacker, these are some of the things you'll be seeing most often. So when you see things like this, don't panic. It is part of the game. Now, I made mention that I want to see a statistics. That is this particular one, network statistics, and then hyphen A, which tells me everything, and then hyphen N, which I want to see the ports. So I want to see the IP addresses and the ports associated with them. So when I come here, the protocols, they are not really important to you for now, but the IP addresses. So this is an IP address, but for you, it is not important for now. Now, this is a port, and it is saying that port 80. These are what we call anything you see over here, they are what we call local addresses. The local addresses are what are the things running on your device. That's all. The IP addresses on your device, they are the local addresses, and the foreign addresses are external IP addresses. So when we say external IP addresses, we mean IP addresses outside your network. So if you are browsing google.com, google.com's address is a foreign address, and your own will be the 192.168. Let us come back to this particular thing. I've forgotten my IP address. So let me look for my IP address once again. I think somebody should be able to remember me my IP address, but let me just pick it once again. And the command, I think some of you know the command by now. ipconfig, and I hit enter. Oh no. Okay, I think there is a problem with my typo. And please, whenever you are working, these things, these errors, you'll be meeting them most often. When you meet them, just read and make sure you understand it, and make sure you just go by what it wants you to do. This particular what's the name error tells me that um I've just typed something wrong. So I just do ipconfig and I hit enter. I'm on Wi-Fi. So my IP address is this. So this is my IP address. So let me come back and see the ports open on my device. So the doors to my device. The yes, the gentleman asked the question that when we say ports, what do they mean? It means that if somebody wants to hack my device, what ports are open? How can he get into my system? The ports are the means to get into. So when you see my IP address once again is 172.20.10.9. So when I come here, I can come and look for it from this end. All right, let me go through this. When we say listening, it means that the port is open and it is waiting for somebody to come in. So it means that it is just open. That is it. Now, let me calm down. When it says that established, it means that somebody has been able to get in. There is a connection between the outside and the inside, right? That is what we say connection established. I hope you are getting everything smoothly. And if you don't really understand something, please let me know. Okay, that is great. There is also another thing over here. This is my personal IP address, and this is a port. This is my local IP address. When I say local IP address, it means my IP address, and this is a port. So this port is opened, and this is a foreign port also. This is a foreign IP address. This particular one is a foreign IP address, and this is a port associated with the IP address. So when you come here, you can see this particular IP address. It has this particular port open to it. Good. So let me calm down. Okay. So that is that. Let me try and open a service really quick so that we come back. I come back really quick. Copy. I don't think it's important for you to see this. Good. Now, let me run the network statistics once again. Please, if you can see my screen or something, please let me know. Somebody is saying no. Can you tell me what you are saying no to? Um, good. Please, can you tell me what you are saying no to so I get it once again? If probably I have to go through, you can see your network statuses. I want to see if port 80 is open on my computer. So network statuses and -a and -n. Good. There is also one trick that I want to show you. You can do -a -n and a lot of flags, but you can combine them also. So instead of -a -n, you can do an. So it means that it is just equal to port 80 opened on my device really quick. A second. Let me see. Quick one. Let me do a reference. Great. So I have to take my time to go through everything, and it may take a lot of my time. In fact, as hackers, we don't have enough time. It's clear. We don't have enough time. So sometimes what we do is this: we do what we call filtering. This whole thing, I have to take my time and go through it, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. What I can do really quick is I do what we call a pipe, and then find. So when I say pipe, I mean that I'm coming to look for something. So when you pick the first command, just go and look for another command. So this one, what it will do is that it will do the whole thing and then look for port 80. No perimeter find. Good. I think I got that particular command wrong. Um, let's start. Good. 80. Okay. I think that should work, but let me go through my command prompt once again. Close. Let me start my command prompt once again. CMD. When I start it, you don't see, but I'll project it, so don't worry. Let me project it once again for you to have a good look at it. And I think in your CTF, you may see something very close to this, so just pay attention to everything we are doing. Okay, good. I hope you can see my command prompts now. Please, can you see my? Okay, good. I think you should be able to see my command prompts now. So let me extend it and let me type my net start. Please, can you see my command prompt? -a n. Okay, and let me do my piping. So after doing my an, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of things over here, but I need only one thing. So I do what we call piping. This particular, this is what we call pipe. So what I do is I just do find. I'm looking for port 80, and port 80 we discussed that is used to see what's the name, to browse. That's what we use for browsing. Parameter find. Okay, good. Um, Good. All right. So I'm looking for 80. So it will now narrow it down for me to look for only 80s. Okay. Good. So I can, this one has an 80 in it. So it will tell me this is also having 80 in it. So it will tell me all the other things that have put 80 associated with them. Now I have port 80 opened on my device. So when I come here, when I come here, I can come and put my, oh, you can see. In fact, once I have port 80 open on my device, I can browse it because it is opened. So it has opened a way, it has opened a door for me to see what's the name? What's the name? A website. So that is what it is. So let me do my IP address. And what is my IP address once again? I think my IP address is let me look for it once again. ipconfig, and I hit enter. So this is my IP address. And I know very well that port 80 is opened. Oh, okay. So let me share. Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, so let me share once again. Okay, so I know very well that my port 80 is open. So I put my IP address over here and I put port 80 and I hit enter. So I can see over here that it is running what we call a service. So I can see NetPath Ghana live session demo. Port 80 is opened. So that is how it works. I think you have seen it. You've seen it now. If you've not seen it, let me know. Please, did you see what I did now, just now? So that is that. If you have not seen it, let me know so that I go through it again. So that is what we are supposed to do today. Do you have anything? But please, did you see what I just did? Where I saw that port 80 was opened. Okay, let me go through it once again. Now we have port. Let me close this really quick. Okay, so what we are doing is this. We know the IP address, and the IP address is my personal IP address. Now we want to know. Um, we now want to know the doors to my device, and the doors are the ports. And we spoke about port 80. We spoke about port 443. Port 443. No problem. I'll project my screen. Port 443 is for browsing. Port 80 is also for browsing. Good. So I have opened port 80. Good. And after opening port 80, I have there is a service running on port 80 and I've been able to browse that particular service. So let me go through it once again so you understand it very well. Let me share my screen now. Let me share entire screen. Okay, so let me do my CMD. Enter. Good. Please, I think you should be able to see it now. Let me explain for the last time how to know what ports are open on your device. Good. Stop sharing. Good. So um let me open command prompt. CMD. Enter. Good. So let me share it now. No problem. I'm trying to project. So okay. So CMD project. Now, good. All right. So I have my CMD now. We spoke about the next start. And then the next start, we all came to an agreement that I think you can see the screen now. You can see my command prompt now, right? We have agreed that to know my IP address, I do IP config, and I hit enter. And it is clear we all saw the IP address. Good. Now, after the IP address, we want to know the ports running on the IP address. So what we do is this. We do a net start. The net start, there's no R. Now, after the net start, we are doing what we call flags. So the flags are the arguments. So instead of doing everything over and over, just give me some small portions of it. Exactly what I need, and that's all. So what I do is A, which is all, and N, and give me the N will give you the port numbers only. The port numbers and the IP addresses associated with the port. Then I hit enter. Okay, after hitting enter, I have a lot of things over here. We discussed that we have local addresses, and the local addresses are the IP addresses. Your personal IP addresses are the local addresses, and the foreign addresses are the external IP addresses like google.com, facebook.com, and all those things. They are the what's the name, the foreign IPs. Now there is something we call state. The state is we have listening. The listening means that your IP address is listening, so it has opened itself to listen to any external connections. Now this particular one, it says that, please take it again. Ha ha ha. All right, so let me take it once again. To By now we should all know how to fire command prompt or the terminal. When you open the terminal and you run your net start, let me start all over again. And I say whenever I want to clear my screen, I do CLS. I hit enter. It will clear the screen for me. After clearing the screen for me, what I do now is net start. And the net start will give you a lot of things, like things that you don't need. Connections coming from outside, your connections that are going outside, and a lot of things that you don't need. So what we do is this: we narrow it down, and narrowing it down, we use what we call flags. And the flags, before you use the flag, you use the hyphen. The hyphen on my keyboard is just after the zero. So you hit hyphen, and hyphen A should tell me everything, right? Hyphen A should tell me everything. All connections going out and coming in. That's all, right? Good. Then I now use hyphen N. When I say hyphen N, it means that I want to know, display the ports associated with the connections. Do you get it? So it will tell me, so let us do the A only. You see, so the A is going and is going and is going, and it has no end. Like it's just going, right? So let me clear. Um I have to quit it, and quitting it, control C should be able to quit it. So I now type my net start once again. The start, there is no R, hyphen AN, so that I make it very simple and I hit enter. Simply, it has given me all the things that I need. All right. Let me check. It has given me all the things that I need. Now, when you check, you can see local IP addresses. The local IP addresses are your personal IP addresses, or the IP addresses associated with your device, and that's all. The foreign IP addresses, these are the local IP addresses. These are what we call the protocols, but they are not important. I think you have read it, but I mean, it is up to you. Just read it. There are two, UDP and TCP, but just read it. But for the local IP address, the local IP addresses are your personal addresses. So 0.0.0 is an IP address on your device. Good. These are also foreign addresses. The foreign addresses, we have 0.0.0, and it runs through. These are all external IP addresses. And the state tells you what your computer is doing, whether it is listening or it is not listening, or it is closed, or so this one, it means that your computer is listening on port 80. You get it? Good. When I come down, I should be able to see port 443, but I'm looking for port 443 over here, and it is taking me forever. So you can now use what I did, the pipe, to narrow it further down. So let me look for port. You see, I can't even see. So I did something. I did this pipe, and then I did find, and after find, I did this, and I did 443. Good. So this one will tell you the port 443s that are open. And this one are, once again, these ones are the foreign addresses, and these ones are your local addresses. When you check this one, this is a foreign address. This is a foreign address, and it's having port 443 opened. I think this one should be Google. I'm not really sure. This one, so it means that this particular IP address, a foreign IP address, has port 443 opened. So it means that you can browse it. And the browsing it is a service that we are running, the services that are being run on it. That is what we call the browsing, like the services. So if it is port 44, if it is port 22, port 22, just as I showed you on the slides, port 22 is for SSH. So when you see port 22, you can browse it, but you can only SSH into it. So when you Google port 22, it tells you it's an SSH connection. So you can browse, you can only connect to it remotely. Now, my IP address, let me look for CLS and I press enter. Please, can you see my screen? I think you should be able to see it. When I do, I now look for it again, but I do port 80 and I hit enter. I should see all IP addresses on port 80. Okay, good. So I have my IP address on port 80 that is being opened, right? But you are seeing 0.0.0. I understand. It means I would not like to go deep into it because some people might get lost. This is my personal IP. This is also a local IP. So I can do this particular IP on port 80 and it will tell me that port 80 is opened on my device. So let me just try and browse this. So I copy it and let me browse it for you to see. So let me switch over and to my, I think, let me open Chrome and see if Chrome will be able to browse, so that I browse and you see what is my IP address. Okay, so I've opened Chrome. So let me share Chrome for you to see now. Share. Um, I'm trying to open Chrome. So we have a look at it. Okay, good. So allow. Good. So great. I think you should be able to see my Chrome browser now. Now, I told you that port 80 was opened on my device. And you can see it from the command prompt that port 80 was opened. So what is my IP address now? And my IP address, when I do IP config, I should be able to get it. And it is 172.20.10.9. Good. So let me come back over here and paste it and colon port 80. Now the port, that is port 80. The port is port 80. So when I hit enter, good. So IP address and the port, it tells me that NetPath Ghana live session demo. So I can see it clearly that port 80 is opened. So that is how it works. Please, do you get it now? Is everything okay now? The same thing happens to port 443. You can do the same thing for port 443. You can do the same thing, but you must understand that your IP address is over there and the port is also very clear. Now, let me take it for the last time. Share screen. Good. Command prompt. Good. So, okay, then I think that is that. So you now understand services running, and you now understand ports, and you now understand IP addresses. If you understand it, please let me know in the comment section, please. Good. So please, do you understand it? And please be preparing your questions so that they'll be coming in very soon. So net start hyphen a n. Good. So once again, good. So when you come here, you can see on my device, this is my IP address, and this particular port is opened on it for connection. So when you enter my house, that is my device, this is my house address. You can see clearly that this particular door is opened. So you can get into it using what means. As a hacker, you have to think about it. This one too is opened. You get it? So you now have to take your time and go through it, and see what ports are open on whose device and all those things. That is how it is. Okay, so that is that. If you have any other question, please let me know in the comment section. Good. And what you can also do is this: some of the ports you don't know them, right? So you can copy the port number and go and put it on ChatGPT or wherever, and it will tell you exactly what port it is and what services are running on them. Then you can now move on to all your other things and do all your ethical hackings. Any question, please? Oh, I think we're having some questions coming in. Okay, good. Somebody is saying that I heard you mention of foreign IP addresses with port numbers too as well while you went through the next start. Okay, but is it that they are connected to your device? Okay, and you can scan. Good. Now, what's happening is that my device is opened. I have opened those ports. The foreign IP addresses are there. So let's say google.com, they have an IP address. After their IP address, they have a port that they have opened that you can connect to it, right? And after you connecting to it, you can have google.com, you can browse google.com or Netflix or all the other services. Now, when they are sending you traffics, when they are sending you things, they have to send it to your device through a means. So that is what we call foreign IP addresses, right? The foreign IP addresses are not within your system, they are outside, and you have to make connections to them. And they can also make connections to you because you have opened a port. So most often what happens is a port will be open temporarily for you to connect for them to connect to you and deliver whatever you want to receive. So that is how it works basically. Any other please, if I have answered you very well, let me know. If I have not and you need more clarification also, let me know, please. Good. Somebody is saying is it possible for someone to change or manipulate an IP address? Most often what happens is this: when you are connected to a network, the network gives you an IP address, but you can still change it when you are on the network. So your local IP address can be changed. But most often, because something, no, I don't like to mention those names. It may confuse some other people. But what happens is you can change your IP address also. You can also demand a different IP address and it will be given to you. But that is out of our scope. I think one of these days we'll get there where you have to change your IP addresses and all those things. So if I've answered the question very well, let me know. If not, and you need more clarifications also, please let me know. Hey, please, somebody is saying I'm a bit confused. Please, can you tell me where you have the problem so we try and resolve it? Is it about the IP addresses, the ports, or the services? Please let me know so I explain better on that. Okay, good. Somebody is saying, what's the difference between Netstat and Nmap? Good, that's great. Nmap will be handling it later, but for Netstat, our CTF now is based on Netstat. Nmap will handle it later. So please keep following. I think one of these days we'll handle Nmap and you get a difference. So don't worry about it at all. To all those who don't know, in fact, we'll be handling it. So don't worry. When we get there, we'll cross. And for next start, that is what we have done today. Um, okay, somebody is saying it's okay, thanks. There is one person who is saying he's confused. This particular person, please. K in Enyiri 1361. Please, can you tell me where you have problems so I try and resolve it for you, please? But please, apart from that, hope everything is fine. If you have any other questions, please let me know. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Please, I'm waiting for all your questions. We have also done port 80 very well, and we have port 443 is just the same as port 80. But for port 443, I think that one is secured, but port 80 is not secured. So when you are browsing, you see some lock on what's the name? Your device, your browser, you can see some lock. It means that it is encrypted. I don't want to go anything in depth. So port 443 and port 80, they are used for serving as websites. So that is what we use them for. Take note of them. Thank you very much. Good. So let me handle this thing also very quick. When we say recon, we have done the recon. The recon, in fact, the recon is what we have done. We want to know IP addresses. So on my network, I know my IP address. It's part of the recon. When I say recon, I mean reconnaissance. It's part of the recon phase. Looking for ports that are open is also part of the recon. So if you know the IP address, you know the ports, you have a fair idea about the IP and the ports. It means that you have a very great idea about the system, so you can target the system. So that is all part of recon. Somebody is saying, can you go through how you find a specific port, please? Okay, that's great. Let me go through it once again. How I looked for a specific port. I use the find command. Okay, so let me look for it once again. Clear. So I do my net start. In fact, that is out of our scope, but I mean, let me go through it once again. Then I do what we call piping, and I do find. So when I say piping, it means that um when I get into a room, I am looking for a mirror. You cannot get the mirror in in the in the kitchen. No, you can only get it um in the washroom or in the dressing room. So after getting into the room, the next thing I look for is the dressing room. So that is what I'm doing over here. So after looking for this particular thing, I now look for that. So I use the pipe. So this particular thing will work. And after working, it will now give the response to this. So find, and then I look for what? 80. And I hit enter. Then it will only give me the things that has only 80. So this is it. I can see this one being 80. I can see this one also being 80. I can see this one also being 80. I can see has 80. This one is also having 80 in it. So it will give me the thing that has 80 in it. Thank you very much. If you are looking for port 443, you look for find and you do 443 and you hit enter. Okay, so it tells you, okay, this one has port 443 inside. So the whole line, it has port 443. This is also having port 443 and etc. etc. But if you don't do the find and you just do this one, -an, you hit enter, you can see it and you now have to go through it manually. So I have to look for port 80 and I'm looking for port 80, and sometimes it will take you hours and hours and hours. Thank you very much. Somebody is also asking a question. Please copy. I copied my IP address and I added the port which is listening, but I didn't see something like what happened. Thank you very much. I think on the CTF, it will cover most of the things, but let me get this also very clear to you. It is not always that port when you see a port, you have to go and browse it. No, every port and what happens behind it, and what happens behind it is the services they are running. Port 443, port 80. What they do is they help you to browse. So if you don't have port 80 opening at the local side, this is it. Oh, let me share once again. Share screen. Good. I really like the interaction, so please let us keep it going. If you are facing challenges also, please let me know. Um, if you have this particular port, let's say, see that. Good. Let me say I have this. These are the local addresses. The local addresses are your devices, like your device's IP. So if you have port 80 running on a foreign address and you try browsing, it might not work. Good. On my device, I have some IP address and port 443. If you try browsing port 443 is no use for browsing. So if you try browsing port 443, it would port 445, it will not work. Port 5040, it will not work. If you try browsing it, it will not work. So on my device, if I open port 22, once I open port 22 is for um SSH. Good. I think we did port 3389. The port 3389, that's the RDP port. It will give me a remote access. If I open that particular port on my device, you wherever you are, you can connect to my device and then work on it just as you are sitting behind it and working. So somebody somewhere can connect to my, and the person who browse the paper, that you may think that the person is behind my particular computer. That doesn't mean that the person is browsing from me. He's browsing. It is not browsing, it is remote connection. So every port and every service that is running behind it. I think I've been able to answer you very well. So if you see a port if you see a port running, it doesn't mean you can browse them. It's not every port that you can browse. No. Thank you very much. Port 80, you can browse it, and you can only browse it if it is on your local device. If it is external, there are some other things you have to do and all those things. Thank you very much. I think I should be able to answer a question. I think I've answered the question very well. If you have any other challenge, please let me know. We have about some 10 minutes to go. And please, if I'm going too fast, to let me know. If I'm going too slow, let me know. If you want something that you need clarification on, please let me know. We have 10 minutes more to go. If you are okay with everything, we can close. What again do you have? What again do you have? What again? Any question at all that comes into mind, you can ask. So we proceed. All questions are welcome, please. Any other question, please? Or you are all okay with everything? I think the gentleman with the Mac, he said he has been able to fix it. So we thank God. I think IP configured. So it is what it is. I think we have only 3 systems. We have Linux, Windows, and Mac. So if IP config doesn't work, IP all other ones should work. Um, any other question, please? Um, but I hope everything has gone well. If you have any problem, please let me know. I'm willing to assist all of you. And I think I've explained the ports very well. And the person who I think do Donald David, I think I've answered you. When we talk about port, we don't mean the ports beside your computers. No, please. Thank you. I think you should be able to read by now. You should have read all those things. So please, um, any other question, please? All right. I think we have some questions. Great. Somebody is saying that so with every port you have, I think he wants to say you have to know what it would do before you browse it. You see, every port and what happens behind it. Port 443 is used for something. Port 22 is used for something. Port, I think port 23 is what we call telnet. So when you have a port 23 open, you can't browse it because there is a different service running behind it. So you cannot just go and because you see port 23, you go and browse. It will not work. Port 23 has a different service running behind it. So port 23, when you go to port 23, you look for what service it runs and you look for how to attack it. You understand? Port 80 runs on HTTP. So you look for attacks to run on port attacks that run on port 80, and that's it. Thank you very much. Somebody says, sir, please can you explain the listening and established again? Wow. Good. When we say, in fact, by now you should understand. By now, I think you should be able to understand some of these things by now. Um, let me explain it to you. Let me explain really quick before I proceed. Let me add the stage. Good. Now, when you are browsing the internet, you send a request. The request has to come into the system. So this is what happens. Your device, I want to take a very simple one so that I explain it for you. Good. This is my device. This is a port. This is an external IP. This is its port. Now, my device, which is this, has opened a temporal port, which is this. Just to connect to this particular thing. And we know port 443 is for browsing. So I tried browsing and what's the name? It has been established. So it means that the connection has been established. So what I want to do, I've achieved it. Good. When I say listening, when you see listening over here, I don't want to use, okay, good. So let me use this particular one. This particular IP address with this particular port is opened and it is listening to any connection that comes in. I don't want us to go into the 000 because it may get some people confused. So this is what we call a loopback. It is local, so it is my IP address. Let me say it's my IP address because it is local. My IP address has opened this particular port and it is waiting for connection. So it is listening, right? And it has not established any connection yet. Now, if somebody tries to connect to my device, then you get the person's IP address over here and the port over here, and it will be established. Thank you very much. I think I've been able to answer you. Okay. The find is not working. Hey, please always check how you type it though, but it is outside our scope though. You can do the manual checks, but I think it is outside our scope. That is just an add-on. So let me just do it really quick for you to see. And we are wrapping up. In the next 8 minutes, we'll close. So find, please. If you don't bring the pipe, if you don't bring this particular sign, that's what we call the pipe, it will not work. This particular thing, if you don't bring it, it will not work. And find, and then you bring this one and the IP address that you are looking for, but it is outside our scope too. I have just added it because I don't want us to be going through back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you just do your pipe and you just do your find and you just do your IP address. But for the IP address, if you don't put it into double quotes, it will not work. Thank you very much. Yes, please. I get it now. Thank you. Please, we are closing. So let me know if you you need some other things, so I help you out. Any question based on anything, please let me know. Can we tag you when we complete our flags on LinkedIn? Oh, I'm always opened. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I think you said tag. Okay, no problem. You can tag me on LinkedIn. I mean, yeah, I think somebody asked a question last week that you can make connections on LinkedIn and express yourself, make connections. Thank you very much. You can tag me. I'm always open. In fact, I'll like it and I'll reshare it. Thank you very much. We are closing, so anytime I try the find thing, it says that recovery external command. Please look for a way to look for the find. In fact, that is what makes you a hacker. You don't just follow what exactly somebody is doing. Try and then give it to ChatGPT to help you out. But that is even out of our scope. We don't need it. Thank you very much. I think you have to find a way, please. I think it is working for me. If you are using Mac, you have to find another command. Thank you very much. Say, please, your demo is based on Wi-Fi connection. What about? Okay, it says it worked now. Thank you. Please, can you tell us what you did that has made it work? Please tell us the problem and also how you've been able to fix it. Perhaps I might also learn from it. Thank you very much. What about Ethernet connection? Thank you very much. I think I have handled that, but let me handle it once again. Thank you very much. I think the guy has asked a very brilliant question. Okay, so let me just do this one. Uh, I I think we did the IF config. No, IP config. IP config. We hit enter. I made mention clearly that if you are using Wi-Fi, your IP address will be here. That is IPv4 address. It will be here. If you are using Ethernet, right, then it will be here. You see Ethernet, good. It will be here. Ethernet adapter. Then your IP address should be here, right? I don't want to say this is my IP address because I'm not using Ethernet. Thank you. But when you see Ethernet, it means that you are talking about Ethernet. And when you see Wi-Fi, it means or wireless LAN, it means you are talking about Wi-Fi. Thank you very much. Any other question, last question or two before we close? Thank you very much. If you have any challenge to, please let me know in the comment section. I think I'll be willing to assist you. Hmm. I've handled local, I've handled foreign, I've handled ports. In fact, I've handled everything that you need for this particular week. And next week we'll be meeting. Listening, good. You understand also listening. When I say listening, I explain it very well. It means that your system is waiting for a connection to come into it. Good. I've handled the flags also. When you see flag A and flag N, I've also handled that particular one. I've handled IF config. I think that is that. So any other question before we close? Any last question or anything else? I've mentioned port 80, which is HTTP. I've mentioned port 443, which is HTTPS. With port 80, you can browse it. Port 443, you can browse because they are HTTP and HTTPS. That is what helps us to browse. Port 22 is SSH. So I can open my terminal and connect to your device everywhere you are on the globe. I connect it to you and I can do everything I want to do from my terminal. The terminal, when I say terminal, I mean the command prompt. I can do everything. I can create folder, delete file, everything using port 22, that is SSH. And also we have port 3389. That one is what we call RDP. It's just the same as port 22, but the difference is port the RDP port, that is 3389. That one you see the graphics, so you control it just as you are sitting behind the computer and browsing. Not browsing, but you are using the computer and you are behind the computer and working on it. That is the difference between the SSH and the SSH. You see the terminal and you can only, so if you see something you want to click, you can click. Thank you very much. I think we are done for today. Man, Madam Patricks, please, can you tell us what you did? Perhaps we might also learn from it. Apart from that, thank you very much and have a great evening or great day or great weekend, depending on where you are coming from and what time it is and when you are watching this particular video. Thank you very much. Let me wait for some 2 minutes. If no question comes in, we end the session. But I hope this session has been very good. And if you have any problem, let me know. I'm always available to assist. Very soon I pray that some of you become one of the best hackers ever. So I'll be expecting all of you at the top. I pray that nobody should drop. Let's all work hard and get to the top. I'll be waiting for you at the top. I mean, I pray that some of you pass me and you'll be teaching me small, small. So uh, I thank you all. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. I'm ending the session. All right. So all the best.